very well
Our-
at all.
Our 1 and 2 from our class didn't graduate. They lasted 1 year in college.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, oh, I heard that.
Not surprising.
But
You
go
know-
look at the roster
I
of
wonder,
entrepreneurs who have made
how
the most money in the last
So
decade.
and that's why if you do 25 and take that 26th person and go between the 25th and 26th and round it off, it'll round off the 25th one to be in the top, maybe even the 26th one to be in the top 10%. And that obviously is not right. It's not fair to do so. But surely the 25th one out of 248 ought to be accepted. But no one after that.
How do they do that with homeschool?
They don't, obviously they don't have a rank.
Actually, typically with homeschoolers, they're more likely to score better on standardized tests, which will get them in,
Well,
plus they're
yeah.
better writers and they have more
I was just
extracurricular
thinking about
activities and volunteerism.
Oh, really?
They do well.
In Florida, they group them by city. And then you're ranked by the city you're
I
in.
mean, all of my homeschool friends have done really well in college, but they didn't get automatic for the ranking. And so that's why I was wondering how they did the ranking.
They don't get top 10 automatically, but they're put into the top quarter.
Oh, okay.
Pretty interesting. If you had quadruplets who were homeschooled, I guess they could put one in the top quarter.
Yeah.
I feel like most homeschoolers like come in with 30 hours, at least 30 hours of credit too, because they do a lot of like community college credit
So that's,
when they're being
so I was
schooled.
homeschooled in high school, and our sophomore years of high school, we started community college. So
Yeah.
I went into college with my AA already at 17 or 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have 27 of 28 graduates from Roscoe Collegiate High School finished their associate degree before they finished their high school diploma. But how are they looked at for admissions?
They're not money
Applied
makers.
in their senior year as freshmen.
They are looked at as first-year college students.
Yeah.
It's the same as freshmen, okay? And so I'm working with a kid now who wasn't admitted. No, he wasn't in the top 10%, had mediocre kind of scores, has an associate's degree, and you know what kind of problem he's in? He's gonna have 5 semesters of college, he's gonna have 70-something credits, and won't have any of his junior and senior level sequence of courses. And he's gonna be, it's gonna be a struggle. Now, what I tried to tell him
That is true.
is it might take him another 2.5 years to graduate. Guess what that is?
Because of sequencing and program requirements and a lot of other reasons.
They don't align, like,
Well, if you have to take this course before you can take this course, you have to take this course before you can take this one.
oh.
In 3 semesters isn't enough to get the sequence. And,
Yeah.
and,
That's
and
the way it
in
was designed.
some curricula, that's a real issue.
Yeah.
Entomology,
It's a forensic.
yeah, forensic sciences, that's a real issue.
I'm sure it's an issue in engineering.
The high engineering.
Engineering would be horrible.
Engineering, yeah.
The program that does college and high school was created by a college, so the sequence is perfect. So most students who start their freshman year of high school, starting college classes, by the time they're 17, they have their high school diploma and their GED complete.
But that's assuming they know what they want to do.
Assuming, which most of them go straight into research as a freshman in high school. So they only pick people who, into the school who know what they want to do research-wise.
But what if they change majors?
Yeah. They're both, there's a flexibility in being able to change, and the advisors work with them, so the credits can transfer that way. It's flexible for the students.
They took business math here and want to get into engineering. They're even working with them to, you don't have differential equations, you don't go into
Right.
quantitative analysis kinds of
Dealt
classes.
with a physics student who went to Plant and Environmental School of Science. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Went from that
You know,
North Texas
engineering
program.
physics versus
First, yeah.
whatever the other physics is, kind of thing. And
Go from social science to healthcare.
yeah.
Nursing or something.
It's a real issue. Certainly is an issue. And you may say, well, what does any of that have to do with statistics? It has a bunch to do with statistics. much of it is based on some kind of statistical calculation of scores and rankings and percentiles, and it all adds up. Did you figure the third quartile of those data? What did you get? 92.5. How many got 92.5? Because you got between one of the 91s and between the, yeah, the 92 and the 93. I'll get it out in a minute, okay? You got 92 and a half. What did our, what did we get here? One of them got 92 and a half, and the other got 92. Well, that's not too much off, is it?
Well, if you're 92.1, that's a big difference for you.
No, well, I'm just saying, yeah, it is a difference to you, okay? Now, do the first quartile. Do the math on your first quartile and see what you get. Which one did you get? You got what?
76.
I'm sorry, I said
76.
76. And here we got 176 and 178. So do you see that there's a difference in the way that's calculated? And you can read, if you go here, you can just read how they did that differently. It's whether they were inclusive or exclusive, whatever that means. Okay? And you'll figure out that you're either exclusive or inclusive, the way that we have figured it. Okay? So you can't just you got to figure out which one you're going to use and be able to defend why you did that. You ought to be able to calculate it and then say, well, here's why I used this one here.
Now referring to exclusive.
We used exclusion.
Is that excluding the median itself?
Don't ask me.
That's what I thought.
Do another one sometime where the median is not a value, but it's in between. Where it's, when would the median be between two values?
Even number of data sets.
Anytime there's an even number. So do an even number. See, those are the kinds of questions you need to ask yourself and say, self, is that excluding the median? Yeah, is that excluding the median? Is that what exclusive means? And I'm going to say, I don't know. So how can you figure it out? You can put you some data in there where you're going to exclude the median. Take one of those numbers out of there and figure the way we figured it, and then you can figure out, oh yeah, that must be what it's doing. You got to mess with data. You can't just take what some formula, what some dummy tells you, and just say, well, that's the way it is. You've got to internalize it, make it your knowledge, make it something that you understand, make it your truth, if you will. As opposed to, well, that's what the book said, that's what it calculated, that's what Excel said that was a quartile, the first quartile, so I guess it was, And someone else tells you it's 92 and a half, and you said it was 92, and you say, oh no, it's not 92 and a half. Or you can say, well, you must be excluding, if that happens to be excluding the median. What is this down here then? What are these two variances? Why are there two variances very different numbers, 164 versus 178.
Population versus sample.
Okay, the population versus what? It is sample,
Estimate of
but it's the estimate, it's the sample standard deviation variance used to estimate the population variance. This is the population variance. Okay? How do we know it's the population variance? Because it's a little Greek letter. Was that one sigma?
Yes.
Okay, there's sigma. Or what APA says on page 121 is that big S squared
Means, big S squared means it's
is population variance. And little s squared is a value used, calculated from the sample variance used to estimate the the population variance. Okay, so that's way past our break time. That's where we ought to leave. You ought to look at that. You ought to look at this sheet and mess with this sheet. Calculate a z-score. Okay? Just calculate those z-scores. That's not part of your homework. That'd be part of your graded homework assignment. I'm going to give that to you after when we come back from. Calculate the t-score. It tells you how to do that. It's not in the book, and it's not in Excel, but you can see how it calculates that. And it's a number that sometimes is used in educational data to represent things. Big T and a little z-score. So if we took just what you've got there, oh gosh, I'm not sure that I gave you the right thing there. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, I got that is correct. There's another way to do it. To think about. Look at the standard deviation and tell me what about 2/3 of the people scored. Assuming this was normally distributed population, what did about 2/3 of the people score? Not half, but about 2/3. Now look at the numbers down below. Assuming this was a normally distributed population, what do we use to figure out what about 2/3, i.e., 68%? What they scored between what and what?
One standard deviation either way.
What?
One standard deviation each direction.
Okay, and what would that be? One standard deviation each direction from what?
The mean.
The mean. Okay?
Because it's standard.
Yeah. So what, because it's normally distributed, it's a standard normal distribution. So what scores should have contained about 2/3 or 68% of the data? Between what values?
the first and second quartile.
No, that'd be 50, that'd be 25% between first and second quartiles.
So 43 to 15. I don't know.
Between the first, second,
About right.
third.
Between first and third would be 50%.
96.
96 or 97,
Okay.
97 down to 71 or 70, yeah, 71. 2/3 should have scored between 71 and 97. We'll do that. Way over 2/3, isn't it? That probably tells you what then?
It's not normally distributed.
It's not normally distributed. Where is it bunched up towards?
Well, I mean, bunch up towards higher.
Yeah, but where are they bunched? Where are those, how many numbers are bunched between 71 and 97?
14.
There's,
10
there's 13 in all.
Well,
between
So 11.
Well, it's actually 84 plus 12.8, so it's 97.1 or 97.6. So really, it's it's all but 100 and the lowest number, isn't it? It's 11 of the 13. Is that 2/3? That's 80-something%. When 80-something% of the numbers are squeezed towards the mean, what kind of distribution do you think we have?
what kind of kurtosis do we have?
What kind of
It's
kurtosis do we have? We have leptokurtosis.
It's skinny,
Hey, I don't have to compute that.
it's sickly.
I can look at the data, I can figure what the numbers tell me and say it doesn't have a